patients have finally come to terms with their authentic orientation and their authentic identity, and their parents are like, oh yeah, we knew you were gay since you were...
As someone is exploring their sexual orientation, if they have questions or they're not really sure what to do or what to make of their feelings, what is your best advice for them?
My best advice is the first thing they need to remember is the idea of sexual orientation is just a concept. It's not a physical reality. They shouldn't worry about figuring out, am I gay, am I straight, am I bisexual? Don't even think that way. Try to learn more about what you like to do and with whom you like to do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just another example of the pure, authentic honesty of whatever you feel. If you just share it first with yourself and then with whomever your lover is, that opens the door to whatever might be most ideal for you.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a lot of patients who come in with an erotic conflict around same-sex attraction. And it's interesting because generally these, somebody's in their 20s or 30s or 40s at this point, and they've really been getting through life. They have what would be called sort of a manager part of themselves, who's out there working and getting through life and has formed relationships, but they also have an exiled part of themselves that they haven't really allowed to come out of exile and to have a voice. And so in my work with somebody in my office, and I would say that this is something that people can do on their own as well, is appreciate that you have a manager part who's really been working hard to build your life out in the world. But tell your manager part that they can take like a little coffee break for a half hour, an hour, and let the exiled part just start to feel its way in the world. Maybe that's around the kind of porn or fantasy that you'd like to gravitate to, or a kind of a friendship that you'd like to form. In my experience, if the exile is not allowed to breathe, eventually it becomes like the Incredible Hulk, and it breaks out and can cause a lot of damage.
And I think that's very difficult for a teenager, for younger people. And you talk about communication, telling somebody, but they really feel like they can't talk to their parents. And so my advice to the parents is, be calm and have a conversation thinking about the child or the teenager, because the first thing that happens for parents is that their values, their own values, and what they want for their children comes through. Yeah. And they feel so bad, the poor children. So I always tell the parents when they come and call me, they say, this is happening, I always encourage them to think about the child, not them. What they want for the child, no, but don't belittle them, because there's, especially again in South Florida, the parents expect the children to be who they want to be and live their lives according to their physiological realities. So it's very, very important at that age, even at 10, 8, or 12, 15, it's a very delicate issue. But I think the majority of parents can handle it, or they're not prepared, or they're not willing to be prepared to talk about it with their children.
Yeah, I'm always astonished sometimes at how many of my patients have finally come to terms with their authentic orientation and their authentic identity, and their parents are like, oh yeah, we knew you were gay since you were, before you knew. And it's like, great, well, what were you doing on the sidelines the whole time? It places such instead of nurturing, instead of having a conversation, it places such a burden on that child to figure things out for themselves. And so many parents just, opt out of the conversation.
Does our culture say that persons should choose for themselves?
No.
No. So it is okay for the parents to step in?
No.
Right. Speak to that.
Yeah. Look, if you're as old as I am, even here in New York, I was given serious lessons in how to be doing the things I should be doing. So, I still have a great arm in baseball, right? I was taught in a million different ways what not to say, how to walk, how not to walk. But at the end of the day, nobody was nurturing who I was. Right? And that is still done in much, much more subtle ways today.
Overall, I think that the best part of the advice today is that sexuality is fluid, and as you're exploring your own sexual orientation, give some consideration to the fact that all the cards don't have to be in place right now. You don't have to have every answer. You can explore this and explore yourself, and that's what we're advising that you do.